The Sikh tradition began 500 years ago in the Punjab region of South Asia, now divided between India and Pakistan. This beginning is firmly tied to Nanak, born in 1469 CE and referred to as Guru Nanak by his followers. Sikh means disciple or student or learner, while Guru in this context means spiritual teacher or spiritual guide. In his lifetime, Nanak composed hundreds of poetic verses containing spiritual and ethical guidance. These were written down and have been reliably preserved, now forming part of the core Sikh sacred text referred to by followers as the Guru Granth Sahib. The teachings of the Sikh Gurus, as preserved in the Guru Granth Sahib, emphasize connection to a supreme divine being and moral or ethical conduct. Aspects of this guidance are encapsulated in various ways. Human beings can achieve connection to the divine by overcoming home, a kind of false conception of oneself as singularly important and correspondingly a false conception of the world as revolving around oneself. Connecting with the divine is recognizing truth, yet truth is high, but higher still is truthful living. Other phrases like Chardi Kala, a spirit of uplift, and Sarbat da Pala, the welfare of all, are commonly used. One of the most common summaries of Sikh moral and ethical precepts is often referred to as the three pillars of Sikhism. These are Naam Japo, Kirat Karo, and Vand Chako. These can be translated as reciting or meditate on the divine name, earning honestly with hard work, share with others and consume together. Here, Naam is a complex concept but can be thought of as the presence of the divine. The three pillars are referenced extensively by Sikhs and non-Sikhs, but they are not found in the Guru Granth Sahib, and their origin is sometimes debated and even tinged with controversy. The goal of this video is to trace the origins of these three precepts and to relate them to the Sikh teachings found in the Guru Granth Sahib. By doing so, these precepts can be appreciated more and their context better understood. The formulation that has become known as the three pillars of Sikhism first appears in print in a novel by Veer Singh. Veer Singh lived from 1872 to 1957 and was an important Sikh writer and scholar. His historical novels, especially Sundri, originally published in 1898, were written as part of a project of reviving the faith of the Sikh community in the face of colonial power and missionary activities by Christians and Hindus. Sundri is his best-known novel, was very popular when published, and remains prominent in the Sikh imagination. The novel in which the three pillars appears, however, is Baba Naugh Singh, which began to be serialized in a periodical in 1907 and was published in book form in 1921. The full title of the novel indicates its theme, Supag Ji da Saudar Hathi Baba Naugh Singh, which has been translated as The Reformation of Supag Ji at the Hands of Baba Naugh Singh. Reformation here refers to the transformation of character. A young widow Supag is transformed from being weak and credulous to someone of strength who provides support and comfort to others. The novel is a response to aggressive proselytization by other religions at the time of its writing, and Baba Naugh Singh embodies high moral qualities, including moral rejection of such attempts at religious conversion. In the story, Supag has come to stay with Baba Naugh Singh and his wife Nand Kaur. They are looking after her and she is gaining spiritual strength and peace of mind. The narrative then shifts to a dialogue between Nand Kaur and Naugh Singh. Nand Kaur remarks that while the holy texts direct people towards Naam, Dan, Isnan, they also give examples of where practicing charity does not prevent suffering and where bathing is useless. We will briefly explain Naam, Daan and Isnan. In the Guru Granth Sahib, Guru Nanak refers to the trio of Naam, Daan, Isnan. Naam we have encountered in the three pillars. Daan refers to charity. Isnan to purity. These can also be found in the Guru Granth Sahib verses of Guru Arjan, under whose direction the Granth was compiled in 1606 CE, in the work of Bhai Gurdas, who was the scribe of the original Granth, as well as writing his own verses, and in the work of Bhai Nand Lal, a poet in the court of Guru Gobind Singh in the late 17th and early 18th centuries. Naugh Singh responds to his wife, first to urge her not to entertain such doubts that take away happiness, but to remain imbued with Naam, and then to say, "ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਠੁੱਲੇ ਤੇ ਸਿੱਧੇ ਲੋਕ ਹਾਂ, ਕਿਰਤ ਕਰਨੀ, ਵੰਡ ਛਕਣਾ ਤੇ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਣਾ, ਇਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਹੈ." In translation, we are solid and straightforward people, earnest effort, sharing with others, and minding the Naam, that is our way of being. This appears to be the original occurrence of the triad that makes up the now common three pillars. Much of the rest of the chapter continues with the discussion between Nand Kaur and Naugh Singh as to the true import of Naam, Daan, Isnan. The argument made is that Daan and Isnan only have proper significance if guided by Naam. The three pillars are not brought up again, and they are not presented by Bhai Veer Singh as a substitute for or alternative to Naam, Daan, Isnan. Most of the chapters are headed by quotes from Guru Granth Sahib, and the choice for this chapter is Kaal Khaye Kich Hathon De, Nanak Ra Pachane Se, translated as "Whoever works to earn and gives some to share, Nanak says they know the way." The connection to Kirt Karni Vand Chakna is clear. Professor Puran Singh was a contemporary of Bhai Veer Singh and greatly influenced by him. Puran Singh was an academic, scientist, poet, and mystic, and even spent part of his life as a Buddhist monk. Spirit of the Sikh is a collection of essays written in English between 1927 and 1930, shortly before he died in 1931. In one essay in the collection titled The Disciple's Spirit, he writes, "True discipleship, as Bhai Veer Singh has put it so pithily, is Kirt Karni, Naam Japna, Vand Chakna." He then goes on to discuss the significance of these concepts. Note that his ordering is different from the usual one, and he does not use imperative forms of the precepts. In The Spirit-Born People, published in 1928, Puran Singh connects the three pillars with Naam, Daan, Isnan, reflecting some of Bhai Veer Singh's original treatment. This is in chapter 13 titled The Brothers of the Tress-Knot of Guru Gobind Singh, meaning the Khalsa order founded by the Guru. Note that later in the chapter he states that they are a Sangh in which women take free and equal membership. The chapter first extols the virtues of the Khalsa and stresses continuities of its values in Sikh tradition preceding Guru Gobind Singh, and then states, "In the words of Bhai Veer Singh Ji, let me give the creed of this brotherhood in 5 words: Naam, Daan, Snan, Kirt Karna and Vand Chakna." After brief discussions of each of the 5 precepts, Puran Singh writes, "Guru Gobind Singh is the Guru of modern times. He is a prophet who has reconstructed human society in this brotherhood of Naam, Daan, Snan, Kirt Karna and Vand Chakna." Thus, he works Bhai Veer Singh's discourse in Baba Naugh Singh into a single combination of 5 precepts. Interestingly, he distinguishes between Daan, which he interprets as giving deeply and without limit, and Vand Chakna, which is described as equal distribution of the fruits of labor. In or around 1907, Bhai Veer Singh introduced Kirt Karni, Vand Chakna, Naam Japna into the Sikh imagination in a novel of ideas that was meant to extol the Sikh way in the face of active proselytization. He did so in passing in a discourse on the canonical triad of Naam, Dan, Isnan. 20 years later, Professor Puran Singh made the new precepts prominent in some of his discourses, but also offered an integration of the two sets of precepts. The term three pillars comes later, but its initial use is unidentified. The original canonical triad has obviously survived, but the three pillars, with their message of the virtue of honest labor, seem to have taken firm root in the Sikh imagination, becoming a modern encapsulation of Sikh principles for the community and the world at large. Why that is so is a question that perhaps deserves more attention.